Hey, Bob.
Hey, Chris.
Unmuted. Howdy, everybody.
Hi.
Oh,
All right, so I've got 6:32 and we'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum, thankfully. Rachel sends her regrets. I see Ed is going to chime in a second here, so we'll wait for him. I haven't heard from Dan, although he sent some notes to me ahead of time, so I may just be a little bit late. So cool. All right.
Thank you. But my looking code's not there though.
Hey,
is
Ed,
that you,
how are
Sandra? Sandra, is that you, Sandra?
Yes.
Can you see me?
you? No,
You
here,
can't
hold on a
see me,
sec,
can you?
Ed.
No, we don't want to see you.
Okay,
There we go. Oh, maybe getting there.
yes.
Cool. So, first things first. Hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Hey, so
How are you guys doing? How is everyone?
good news.
Can't complain. Weather's getting nicer, right?
Much.
Still breathing. So 3 points. First thing I've got on our end, the only person who sends their regrets is Rachel, and Dan will be on in a second. He said he's having some Wi-Fi issues. So all of us and then Joe Perry, thank you for joining us as always. Appreciate it. I don't know if Chris Scott or others I invited them, but I don't know if they're planning on joining or not. So
Did you invite Mike Burke?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, because I forgot.
Yeah, no, I just sort of have
Remind
the
me.
same email list that I fire off. So all good.
Yep.
Oh, there's Dan. All right, cool. So first thing, just we have the approval corrections of the minutes from February 9th. Dana, as always, thank you. Can I entertain a motion to accept the minutes?
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
All right. Could I get a second? Got a second from Chris. Is there any discussion on the minutes? Okay. Copy. All right. Thank you very much. Cool. Treasurer's report. I don't have anything from Rachel, and again, unfortunately, she's not here, so I don't think there's been any activity on our end from an expense standpoint. Only noteworthy piece, and Joe, correct me if I get this wrong. The town council approved an expenditure for a security system out of, was it I'm going to get this wrong, the budget reserves for at Town Farm.
Yes,
Is that correct? Did I get that right?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Cool. So one of the things that happened last year was we had somebody in either an ATV or some four-wheel vehicle do some donuts on the lawn and caused significant damage. I'm really grateful to the town council for considering this proposal and agreeing to let us put a security system in there. It'll tie in nicely with the rest of the town farm stuff. I spoke to Chief Jones about because it's going to tie into the police department just like Grinnell's does. So we're going to work on putting out the RFP and getting the bid out and all that good stuff. But did want to, again, extend our thanks to the town council for supporting this because I think it's important. So Joe, thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you. What account did it come out of?
It's
reserve?
Your account. Your account, Dana. Come out of your account. On account of you need it.
it
Came
was
out, I think it came out of the reserve or something.
Yeah, I
Wasn't
thought
it?
that's what you said. Reserved.
Right.
I just left a long pause figuring maybe Joe would answer it. So,
Smart man,
So-
smart man.
well, the one thing that's I think important is it doesn't end up needing to go through the FTR. It's just something that we can move forward with, which will help us from the timing standpoint.
Yeah,
So well, we're gonna make sure we follow all the processes, but it's a plus.
awesome.
That's good.
I did not receive any notice for public comments, so we've got nothing on there. And just as a general comment, it says on here, anybody can submit anything till about an hour before the meetings. That's usually when I check it right before I log on. So try to keep it as last minute as possible if anybody has any comments, but in case anybody's wondering where that number comes from. General business. I know the job descriptions working group was hard at work. I don't know who wants to chime in on that. I know a couple of you were there.
Well, I think Dana probably has all the info, because we sat down and she took notes, and then she was going to go home and compile everything and put it together. So maybe she'd be the best one to discuss it, because she's probably got everything right in front of her.
Best dinner.
All right, I did.
Or Ed.
I emailed everybody.
Oh.
There wasn't too many changes. Hold on. Where was? Not that one. Oh, wait a minute.
It's mostly a couple of words that we changed
Yeah,
here
it
and
was
there.
just like a couple of wording issues.
Yeah.
Right, like under the beaches coordinator position, there was just one thing where it said with the engineering firm and the American Red Cross engineering firm for water quality, it said texting. So I assume that was testing.
Testing, yep.
That was just that little correction. And then under qualifications, we changed a little wording under the availability between Memorial Day and Labor Day is crucial. We felt that should be required.
Yep.
And
That's huge.
then a couple of lines down, it says the ideal candidate will have a background. We thought it should say should have, but not required a background in either the rest of that. So it was just like a couple of, because we felt that instead of will have, it could be open to more, I mean, there might be somebody with a different background that is suitable to that. And then under camp counselor, we changed under qualifications. It says for insurance purposes must be 16 years of age or provide work permit from school department. Well, if we're not hiring anybody under the 16 years of age, they wouldn't need a work permit. The work permit is only for somebody under 16. So we eliminated that. And then the only other thing we did was we added must have the ability to access communicate via email/text. So we added text to there.
Makes sense. Just
Because, a lot of them all text and, so
yeah.
keep up with the times.
So something that I want to kind of run past the town solicitor is if the employee is somebody who is under the age of 18 and their employer is communicating with them, are there any regulations as it relates to text? And so my mindset on this is I'm coming from a sports background where we explicitly say to coaches, do not communicate by text unless you have somebody else on the thread, especially with minors, like that kind of stuff. I may be overreaching in what I'm thinking, but I want to ask, but I don't have any problem with it being in there. It's good to get clarification,
Right. We were just trying to think of like the best ways that they could communicate. But if that, I didn't know anything about that. So if that's, something that they have to do, then I certainly understand them not being able to add text to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask. I mean, I don't think it either fits or it doesn't. So
Okay.
I did talk to Chris Carter about our meeting, and I told him, we were going to have a rec meeting, go over this, and then we'd forward it to him. He said there was no need to forward it to him. We can just pursue whatever we're going to do and go from there. He said it didn't even have to go before the council.
Oh, wow. Okay.
These changes, that's what he said. He said you could just go out to advertise or whatever.
does it have to go to the personnel board for any type of review or?
Yeah, personnel board usually compiles all the applications and then says, here, these are all good, or, these are questionable. That's about it. But they don't interview. They just look over the applications.
Okay. But they don't have to.
They'll interview the director, but they won't interview the camp directors, but they don't interview the kids, the lifeguards or the gate attendants. They just take a look at the applications and they pass them on.
But they're helping with the process. They don't have to approve the job descriptions though, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what Chris told me.
Awesome.
Yeah, because Chris said, no sense bringing it to me because then it'll get held up. Just go ahead. If, you guys are happy with it, go with the flow and get the ball rolling. It's okay.
Cool. Well, thank you for saving me a step of having to ask Chris. So cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, all right, Dana, keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt if you guys had more changes to go over.
That's okay. The beach attendant, it was that text thing again under qualifications. And then the CPR and first aid certification preferred, we left that. Okay, so that was really it on that one. And then the lifeguard, we did add under position duties, the second to the last bullet, where it says, and report all incidents, accidents and incidents observed during shift, we put in writing, because we want to have that, make sure that is documented. And then we added the via email/text. And under CPR, we put CPR and first aid certification required. And then training will be provided for AED. And then the only thing that I did add to all of them was from that email that we had gotten from Chris, where it said recreation positions are limited part-time positions that do not accrue paid vacation, personal, or sick time. Employees are expected to follow their appointed schedule, work days, and work hours. Exceptions other than being out sick to the posted work schedule must be approved at least 1 week in advance to ensure the directors of either beaches or parks can find appropriate replacements for your scheduled hours. So I added that paragraph to all the job descriptions that I sent to you. And that was it.
Quick question, everyone. If we have a wonderful candidate, let's say it's my son. I'll give it for an example. My son, he's 15 years old. Are we eliminating that totally, or is it possible for me? Well, not possible. Can I sign that work permit for my son?
No. My feeling is no. Says
No.
16 and up,
Mm.
and you couldn't sign it. You'd have to have the school department sign the work permit, not you.
Okay,
That's my personal feeling.
okay.
I agree. I'm sure he's a great kid, or
No, I'm
Yeah,
only
he's
just that an example.
This kid's well over 15.
He's well over 15.
I'm like, I didn't know your son was that young yet.
No. I didn't have another one neither.
He was very convincing, though.
Yeah.
was.
Thank you.
Got me.
Well, I had a very convincing day. I had to evict someone today, so
Oh,
Oh,
I was.
It was his wife. It was his wife.
It was me. It was me. I had to evict myself out. No, you get very. I'm in a very convincing mode, I guess, today. So I gotta digress. So that's all.
Well, I just first want to say thank you to all of you for going through this and kind of helping drive it. Were there any other comments, questions, changes? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one thing, Mike Bick sent an email that was pretty nice too, with some of the, I guess it was Burrville. That was a pretty good job description he sent too. And I don't know if we want to look at that and maybe pick something from that or not, but I commend Mike for taking the time and doing that.
Yeah, did he, so I apologize, did he send it to the working group? Because I was on the email, but I didn't know if it just came to me or not. And if it did, I'm happy to
I think he sent it to the group, but I'm not positive. Did anybody else get it?
I did.
Bob, you didn't get it? Dana?
I did. No, I did.
Okay, you did, okay. I'm not sure if he sent it to all of us and I forwarded it to everybody, or I forwarded it to you, but I know he did send it, so
Yeah. I don't remember who sent it, but I remember reading it.
it was pretty good.
How about that one from Middletown, Joe, that I showed you?
The one from Middletown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that showed the gate attendants and
About-
whatnot.
Yeah, refresh my memory. What was that about?
You and I were sitting down and I went, ooh, I got this,
Yeah, after the meeting was over, he brings this up. After the meeting's over. Why didn't you bring that up at the meeting, Ed? Oh, I forgot. But yeah, it was something about drugs and alcohol or something, was it?
it was about, they advertise gate attendants, they advertise, what they're looking for and so on and so forth. I saved it on my email. I can send it to everyone as well. I mean,
Oh,
Well,
let me see.
yeah, so
I
here's
kind of
my,
think at this point in the game, it's a little bit later and we've really got to get moving on getting these jobs posted and advertised so we can
Mhm.
start getting people.
yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. So something I might propose, just out of respect to the time that Mike put in, Dana, because you were sort of in the middle of this discussion, if I take a look at what Mike had sent and compare it to you guys and sort of identify where there are differences, is that something where, you could potentially just take a look at it and go, this fits, doesn't fit, and we can then move it? Because I agree with you, we've got to get these out there.
Sure.
Would everybody in this group be agreeable to just kind of doing that so we can move forward?
Yep.
Fine with me. Or I trust your judgment, Stu. I mean, if there's something that you feel we should add, I'd feel
Well-
comfortable with you just adding it.
I'd get that approved by his wife first, though, Dana. I don't know if
Yeah,
you want
don't. When you say you trust my judgment, it's like, oh, yeah.
to.
I wouldn't go that far.
Sorry.
Well, yeah, no,
Yeah, I don't have anything that can move it along quickly. Let's go for it.
well,
yeah.
and that kind of jumps to the next item on summer camp, and something that threw us a little bit for a loop is that over the weekend, Chris Cotta and I got a notice from Sarah stating that she's pursuing other opportunities next year. So we need to get these out there, especially if we're going to have two positions. And I've been a little bit delinquent on some of the stuff that I was trying to work on right now with the summer camp pieces. The state gave an update, I think it was just like late last week, on what they're looking at. And so I've got to incorporate that into some of the guidance to see how we would potentially run it. So you'll see something coming from me. I apologize, I don't have it right now just because there are a lot of moving parts with it. And Chris, you and I have to connect on the food trucks piece. So you're waiting on me.
Yeah, I got some info on that if you want to discuss it later.
Yeah. Let's find a time later this week if you're around. You and I can hop on a call.
Sounds good.
Cool. So just in terms of working group stuff, I'll take a look at it. Dana, I'll just kind of ask you to do a double check on it. And then I will just check in with Chris because there's a line in there for compensation. I don't know how he wants to phrase it. Other than that, we could even pull it off for right now. But,
Can I just say one thing about the summer camps?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you guys got the working group for it and everything. I just want you guys to keep in mind that there is a niche, I'll say, for that. I mean, I know we were talking about doing an all-day camp, but that 9:30 to 2:30 camp, that is very popular. I mean, I think the last time we did it, there was like 90 kids. Not saying that we get 90 kids in COVID times, but it does fill a little slot in society that in our town, I'll say, and even some other towns, because we do get kids from out of town, that, fits. Somebody might be at their grandparents and they go play with their friends. And, from my own experience with it, that's what I used it. My mom watched the kids and they would go over there just to, go play with their friends. And they just loved it so much because all year during school, everything is on a schedule. They're on a schedule, what time school starts and, their classes, and they're moving along. And after school, you got to do your homework. And if you have any activities, everything's so planned. That day is so open and they get to do what they want. They can hang out with their friends. They can play dodgeball if they want, or they can sit down and play Beyblades if they want, or play with dolls, whatever. They can go to the park and swing on the swings. And, that's what they really enjoyed. Was there was no pressure to, all right, we're doing this for half an hour. We're doing this for 45 minutes. It was just, everything was just like a nice, easy flow to the day. And, they went home, they saw their friends and they were happy. So I just want to say, let's not forget that aspect of it as well.
Definitely, absolutely. I know it was a lifesaver for me when we had CJ.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a child when you're in your 70s and trying to figure out what to do with them in the summer. It was like,
Right.
It was godsend. It was a godsend. So Sandra did a real good job of that.
Just a question on the hours of that. One of the things that I always thought was sort of odd is that it starts at 9:30. And so just as a working parent, maybe moving that earlier, even an hour, if you could do an 8:30 start time, just to make it easier for working parents.
Right. No, and
Yep.
I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you remember that group really isn't set up
Yeah, good point still.
for working parents, really. I mean, it's more set up for parents who stay home with their kids or
Well,
grandparents that are watching their
They're
kids.
taking care,
stuff like
yeah,
that.
taking care of the kid. Yep.
Or,
And the one thing I'll be really clear on is I think we do need to look at what the financial cost of doing it is, but that should never be confused with any kid ever being excluded from participation. I think that's a baseline for me. Like, kids need opportunities, but the town also needs to look at it like, how do we do it in a way where the COVID stuff is way more expensive. I mean, that was one of the big factors last year, is that it was going to cost twice or three times what it had cost in previous years to do it. And I also am wrestling right now with the fact that costs are going to be higher because a lot of those COVID requirements are still in effect, even if there's reimbursement opportunities. So trying to balance that and look at how could we do scholarship opportunities and ways to keep people engaged. You know, I think we're all on the same page what we're trying to do here. It's just how do we get there?
Right, right.
I'm with you guys. I'm with you. So,
Well, one other thing that we discussed, and I don't know if it was with Dana, I know it was with Bob, I think I discussed it with Ed, was that we should circulate flyers or advertisement notices at the senior center, at the Country View Estates, place like that, where we might be able to get an elderly person working with a young kid as a gate attendant, because some of these people are, you know, looking for something to do rather than sit home all day. So, you know, we discussed that about soliciting the senior center and the Country View Estates.
I think Bob, that was maybe your suggestion about trying to tap into some new audiences. I think it's a great idea. I will, if we're good on the job descriptions here, as soon as we get the next phase of this done with the summer camp, if we decide we're able to move forward with things, then absolutely. But on the beach attendant side, I don't think there's any reason we can't circulate now, and I can put together a couple like real simple one-page shiny object flyers for us. All right. On the field use applications, I tried to implement a new form for folks that have been leagues with us before. And so it's essentially, instead of a really detailed section by section one for the first time applicants and people doing special events, it's a, hey, tell us what your range is and just give us a list of what you're looking for. And I'll pull it up on the screen here. I have one on here from youth soccer. I know Little Leagues is coming, so not worried about that. But let me share my screen here. So this is the application that came in for Tiverton Youth Soccer. They attached their insurance, their COVID plan. I'm going to skip past that part. And then down here we have the dates that they were looking for. Dates 4/1 to 7/16, 8/31 to 12/11, Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 8:30, and then Saturday and Sunday, and 8 to 8. Start date would be April 1st, and then through. And then for lower fields at Town Farm, 4/1, 8/3, and again, they've listed the times here. There's no other currently selected times. We have no other conflicts with this. So if it's all right with everybody else, I'm fine to, these guys have been great partners. I'm fine to go ahead and just give them an approval if we could vote on that.
Sure.
So,
That's fine.
all right.
Yep.
So can I entertain a motion to approve the field use requests from Tiverton Youth Soccer?
I'll make a motion.
All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
Say that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. I think we get unanimous, so nobody's opposed. Cool. And I will let them know. The other ones are going to be coming in. I did talk to Dave Paul, and like I said to him, and I also said to East Bay Field Hockey, I don't think there's going to be any objections with them. I'm trying to reach out to all of the partners from prior years and have them submit this, but they all work together really well. I am going to try and set up a call with all of them in the next few weeks to talk about COVID guidelines and what to expect for spring. And I'll invite all of you to attend. If we have a quorum, I'll put it on the calendar and set it up as an open meeting. If not, it'll just be probably me talking to them and making sure that they're clear on what we're looking for. So cross that bridge when we get to it. All right.
Stu, I don't see it on here, but did John Cadero ever get put in his request?
I don't have it. No, not for right now. I didn't see anything from him. I'll go back and check. I know there was one from last year that got canceled, but I don't know if I've seen one for this year yet. So unless I missed it. But.
No, only because he texted me and then I texted you and you told me to have him put in the request and I told him, but.
Yeah, well, I'll go back and double check. It's possible I missed it in our form system. And if I did, I apologize, John. But we'll, I have a feeling we may need to, just for some of the approvals, have a really quick meeting between now and our next time frame just to check the box, to let them get going. So That's like kind of like what we did, I think, for the penguin plunge. Is that right?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
they'll show up, say yes, and then leave.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay. Okay. So, and we'll have, again, Little League and field hockey will be coming in relatively soon. I was hoping to have it in here, but some of that's on me. Partner working group reports, just from a town farm standpoint. We're working on our group, talk to the DPW about getting a site survey down behind town farm, getting a full view on that. We'll have to run that through the town council before we can proceed, but I think it's something we're going to try and use as we go through the different phases of that project. And I think I said to everybody last time that by 4th of July, we're going to have a new playground. So it's going to be cool.
That's
Great.
awesome.
It's going to be a double zip line. So Ed, I fully expect you to be using one of them. We'll have races.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the last time I zipped, never mind.
He's out.
Yeah,
That.
probably better not to. Dog park committee, I know that there was some discussion from having spoken to Dave Paul and Kim Sutherland about where they will ultimately fit and how their relationship to recreation. My understanding had always been that that they were not under recreation, that they were a separate entity. I'm getting word that that might be different, which is something I know, Bob, you've talked about. Joe, I don't know if you guys have any insight on what the town council's saying with that. I do know Dave is going to talk to Chris Cotta the next week or so.
Well, Denise was the one that brought it up last night. I guess her and the solicitor and Chris, they decided that I guess they're going to be their own. They're going to be a entity of. I don't know if it's going to be part of recreation or if they're just going to be on their own, but they're going to have to, go on the website and file their meetings and all of that, keep minutes and stuff like that. So that's what I was told.
Anybody else have anything sort of to add on that?
No,
As
and and it's moving along pretty good too. We got the first phase. We got almost $20,000. I think we're short like $200. So we're going to meet this weekend and go over the site and see, who we're going to get to clear the land and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll start moving along pretty good now.
Well, huge credit to all the folks involved with that. I know they've been busting their butts to see it kind of come to fruition, and kudos to them. What I had said to Dave Paul is that if there's an opportunity for rec to help or be supportive, we're here. But I don't know. We feel like we have sort of pride of ownership on our end. Maybe we revisit that later when things are done and it's in maintenance mode. But we're just here to help in the meantime if they need anything. So.
Yeah, I think it's just like you with the playground. People are willing to help any way they can. It's a community effort, so we'll all help out wherever we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't have any other new business items. I don't know if anybody else has anything we need to put up.
I can just give you guys a quick update on Fogland. Two things, beach grass scheduling for beginning to middle of April. We're getting that count on that, and I'll give you guys an email. Probably reach out to schools, see if they got some volunteers that want to plug grass for a day. And the other thing that came through is kind of cool. There was a drainage plan done by an engineering firm, and that's in for a grant right now. And that would prevent that water drainage that we have at the very front there where the gate is. On the road. So they got a pretty good abatement process. They did a professional review on. I saw all the plans came through last Friday. So again, that's kind of percolating along. I'll keep everybody up to date on that, but it looks like we may get a grant to get this thing all done and take care of our water problems down there. Be a long-term solution, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Super
Yeah,
awesome.
Chris, when you're ready to plant that seagrass, let me know. I'm experienced at that.
Yeah,
We did Grinnell's.
it's the same stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we got the whole dune laid out there. I think they're going to add some more sand as soon as DPW gets back in a few weeks from their.
I'll give you a hint. Bring a pipe and you just stick it in the ground, and then you leave a hole and you just stick the grass in it. It's a lot easier than taking. Yep.
Yeah, so it should be pretty nice. So that's about it for there.
Yeah.
Sounds like a cable access show, like Gardening with Joe.
Yeah, we do a lot of gardening.
Chris, you had mentioned stuff on the food trucks. Just while we're still on the call here, I don't know if there's anything that you found out that you can share.
Yeah, so again, a little bit about, what we did previously and where we got to 2 years ago. We decided, I think, to go out there and publicize it and advertise or solicit for food trucks. I think we should look for 2 to 5 trucks. I think we should put a registration fee of $100 for the season. And I think we should have 3 locations we allow people to go to only. I think it should be Fogland, Grinnell's, and Bulgamarsh. When we were working on it, again, a couple of years ago, we figured it was going to be a rotational thing. So everybody who, let's say we get 3 food trucks, they can show up or not. That's up to them because they may not want to show up. But they would have a day schedule where they start on like Monday at Fogland, Tuesdays Grinnell's, and alternate. And everybody would get a Saturday, everybody would get a Friday. And I think that would work. And then I think, we have to write in, they have to clean up, bring their own power, all of that stuff. And then I think one cool thing we should do is that whatever that amount of trucks are, whether we get 1 or 3 or 4, we should sponsor a food truck Wednesday, every Wednesday in the summer up on that promenade area down at Grinnell's. And I think, again, with that same group, then everybody would get a chance to participate in that in midweek, and sort of have something like 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock throughout the summer. So I think the first thing really is get us, what the restrictions you want. I'm watching what's going on in Newport. Newport has a separate thing because there's a lot of issues that the food trucks are parking in front of restaurants. I've already talked to Aaron at the Red Dory, and he's like all for more people going in and having food down there. So he didn't see if there's any conflict. That's the only restaurant in the area. So again, I think the solicitation and then us just setting some basic guidelines on it, where you can go, where you can't go, and then charging a minimal fee just so, it can cover, somebody watching out for things and maybe a little cleanup or something like that. So it's kind of the suggestion.
That sounds amazing.
I know there's been quite a few food truck. When I say the word quite a few, let me back up. The Craze being one of them. Even Dell's Lemonade, we had that 1 year, but it never took off, and I think that would be a great start for see who really wants to come and play.
Yeah.
Put the cards on the table and say, hey, who wants to play a game? So let's go. But I know McCrae's Mike would be very, very, because in fact I bumped into him and he says, hey, you guys start. I said, well, we got meetings coming up. So hang tight, Mike. We'll let you know, but I know definitely he's a player. So
yeah, so I could
I'm
do is
sure.
I could write up, what I would think would be the guidelines that we would want to establish for the town, so we can get that in front of the town council in April. And if they say, okay, then we can go solicit, and then we'll get some guys in. And, again, if you get 1 or 2 this year, you might get 2 or 3. I know a few of the guys, we still have the contacts of the people that had come 2 years ago. So I'd probably reach right out to those guys because they were available. Again, small fee, just to kind of keep it so it's not like open to everybody. And then as long as you put a schedule up there, a calendar, let everybody go at it,
Yep.
I think the food truck Wednesday, though, would be good for town. I think everybody would like that. Midweek.
Chris, sounds awesome. One of the things we should look at, and it may or may not work, is you were talking, I think, about the food truck Wednesday down at Grinnell's, but I also wonder if there's a way to correlate it up near where like next to the library. So you have some sort of they do a lot of social events. I wonder if you could tie the two together, like food trucks on one side and some outdoor activity they have on the other. But no, I mean, I love anything that gets people together. And I agree. Mike Fontano and I have talked about it too. He's, I think, chomping at the bit to get out there. So,
yep. Yeah.
Anything to do with food, I'm in.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we get to, part of this,
Joe.
part of this review is we have to review the food. You got
That's
to prove
it.
the food. There's
Yeah,
only one way to prove
yeah.
the food.
Food testers.
I can say with certainty that McCrae's taco specials are worth it. Maybe keep those food truck item. So very cool. Well, Chris,
Right.
that sounds awesome.
Yep.
So
So
let me
I'll
know how
draft-
I can help you.
Yep, I'll draft up what I think it should be, and I'll send it off to everybody who can look at it. And then, if we vote on it next month, we can get it in front of town council and get it out there.
Cool. Would you guys be open to having just sort of a quick check-in meeting, maybe in like 2 weeks in between? And the reason I'm asking is that if we do something, it gives us the ability just to get a couple more approvals and maybe get this done before we get to April. With that?
Sure.
I'm good with that.
Well, me-
Yep, fine.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll-
and that way,
Anything-
anything we gotta do with, summer camps, because that's gonna get a little
Yeah,
weird.
we're starting to run out of
Dana,
time.
Dana, do you think we should reach out to Sandra, see if she wants to come back? She had a year off.
You can try it.
I'm gonna tell her we raised the fee at 7 figures, all zeros.
I'll take that. Minus the
There you
zeros
go.
part, yeah. I will, I'm also, I think once these are approved, I'm gonna see if I can connect with some of the teachers around. I think at least on some of the season positions, it's probably built for folks like that. But if anybody knows of anyone, let's get moving. So, cool. Awesome. What else? Anything else we're missing?
No,
Nope.
Well, thank you, everybody. I do appreciate the time. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I got a motion from Chris and a second from Dana. And all in favor?
all right.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Aye.
There you go.